Don't really know what to say, but I'm alone all day, every day, and I have no interest in going outside and meeting people because I hate this world, I hate the people in it. But today I couldn't sleep at all last night, and I was ended up going through just random sex stories on YouTube. I think I'm a little bit interested because of R. Kelly. And my mum had another court case yesterday, and she now has a fourth restraining order. I, I asked my uncle told me this, and she said it was because of talking to him in court. But I'm a bit confused because she had a restraining order on right at the beginning for the Christmas thing, and and then I thought she went to court, or they went to court, and she spoke one sentence to him, and and that got her a second year. And then when Sophie didn't get her phone call, both of them went down to say, why aren't we getting our 10 minutes? Well, that got her a third restraining order. And so yesterday she's got a fourth restraining order. So I don't understand how she's got a restraining order. Well, there's one possibility, which is that she's lying to me and not revealing the truth about what's actually happening. Um, or it is just genuinely these just tiny little nitpicking things, and George is being an asshole. But because George has blocked me and has had no contact with me in 4 years, the thing is though, if they are contacting George, then how are they contacting George? Because George has blocked all of our numbers. So if she's breaking the restraining orders, I don't understand how she could be breaking the restraining orders when she hasn't visited him, and there's no way of contacting him because he blocked all our numbers. So I'm just really confused and baffled over what's going on. I know what it is, that George wants to keep the child all to himself, and so he's going to be getting restraining orders every single year just because he is an asshole and he likes winding people up. He knows that these restraining orders hurts my mum, takes them to court. It's a waste of time. It's a waste of court time. Really, he should be getting a criminal record for this. You know, taking a restraining order out because someone tried to deliver a Christmas present at Christmas, and I think he opened the door and Linda came through, tried to come through to see the child. This is right at the beginning when their relationship wasn't great, but for a year before the birth of her first child, my mum was buying him meals every week. So I don't know, the relationship wasn't that bad after 9 months of the birth, even though the separation happened. But yeah, I don't know. I think George is going mad, and I think the courts are going mad for taking on these cases and facilitating. He's abusing my family because he's taking restraining orders on them for absolutely no reason. And when there's a tiny little thing like him sitting next to them in court and them saying a sentence to them. He would use things like that as a way of getting another restraining order. It's ridiculous because they're not seeing each other. They don't have any contact. But I think he gets a sort of pleasure of controlling others, and by having a restraint, or by him getting a restraining order, he feels like the powerful one in this, because he's using the court to kind of dictate his power, saying, I have the power of court for me. I'm the one who's taking you to court. I'm the one with the power. And I think that's what he's doing. And the courts are just being like, okay, yeah, we're making money every time we. I don't know if you actually make it off the people, because to take someone to court, you only cost like £100 or something. But I feel like they're making money off the governments that are helping to support these courts. Maybe I don't really know. My mum's not paying anything, so really, if George is paying for these court hearings, then he's the arsehole. But I think in reality, if someone applies for a court hearing or a restraining order or an extension to a restraining order based on ridiculous stuff, this guy should not only get a fine. He says, hey, okay, well, you've paid £100 for this court hearing. Well, we're going to fine you £100 for wasting the court's time, for trying to take these people to court by just being a pain in the ass. And he should also get a restraining order. I mean, a criminal record. If he had a criminal record and someone tried to take out multiple restraining orders on people, if they've looked at their past, oh, this one, oh, okay, you've got a restraining order every single year on that person. Obviously, this isn't to do with the person, because the person is the claims that you're making against the person is nothing. and you know, posting a picture of your child online, that's nothing. But the courts are thick as fuck, basically, and they haven't just said, oh, she's got a criminal record for posting one picture on Facebook. No, she's got a criminal record for breaking a restraining order, which sounds much far worse. So they're taking things that are not bad whatsoever, exaggerating them by making out that it's so much bigger that than it should be, when in reality she's had this restraining order for 3 years based on literally next to nothing, and allegations that she hit him. This one time, it was literally like one or two times. Like that was George even confessed that it was just like a few times. But I don't know. This is ridiculous. This is. I'll let children be children. Okay, you can go and have your little fucks in your courtrooms, and I will just see the courtrooms as a joke. So let's just say that. But anyway, um, with this stupidness of the courts and just everything, it is making me question a lot of things. So I've looked at the R. Kelly situation, and this is not sex trafficking. Whatever he did or didn't do, it's not sex trafficking. Sex trafficking is a really serious thing. And to describe what R. Kelly has gone through with his girlfriends, and maybe just being a bit of a player, and maybe not being that careful on who, what, or the age of what the people that he's having sex with. You know, he's obviously made some mistakes, and he's not the best of person, and he's probably messed around with a few hearts because these people like him for his money, and they start falling in love with, because they start thinking about all the nice lifestyle that they could have, and if he dumps them, or they turn on him. You know, I feel like that's all it is. So that's a very loose case of wrong. And then you've got the Jeffrey Epstein case, which is definitely far worse, because the being a masseuse is not, it's not a nice job. You know, it's a good job because you can make good money, but it's not something that 16 or 17-year-olds should get involved with. You know, if they do get involved because of choice, if they do choose to have sex, you know, it's not right, and this is the reasons why it should be illegal to have sex with 17-year-olds, so that clients don't start thinking it's okay to, if they're sleeping with someone, you know, it's not okay. It's one thing to have sex when you're 16 or 17, but it's completely different to have sex as a prostitute when you're 16 or 17 or 15. You know, this could be completely illegal. And you know, I mean, you could make it semi illegal for 16 and 17-year-olds to get with, you know, a partner, but prostitution for 16 and 17 is 100% wrong. So, you know, someone deserves prison for this, because massage is a job that turns into sexual services, and Epstein would have known this. And you know, I think I don't, I think he had a lot of power, and he abused his power more so than R. Kelly. You know, R. Kelly, he was fit, and he was taking advantage of fans. He was taking advantage of people who wanted to sleep with him. Whereas I think Epstein probably did have sex with his masseuses, and I feel like he felt that because he was rich, he was untouchable. So, you know, I definitely think he deserves jail. Um, but yeah, there is a difference between, you know, getting people involved in massage, knowing that it's probably going to turn into more. Maybe he did, you know, ask some of these clients, you know, or these potential masseuses, take off your clothes, and he said it in a stern way, and they did it. You know, I did this army cadet thing at uni, and they had this sort of medical, and a couple of the girls did say, because I wanted to know why some of the girls spent a long time in this medical. So I spent 5 minutes. Some of the girls spent 5 minutes, and some of them spent about 15 minutes. And I kind of wanted to know the difference. Why were some going in there? Because we were waiting in this queue for about an hour, and I could see the girls going in, and it baffled me as to sometimes they would go in, come out 2 minutes later, and sometimes they'd go in and come out 15 minutes later. So it was annoying for me because I didn't want to be in the queue, and it was strange. But you know, I found out that some of the girls had actually been asked to take their clothes off or strip down to bra and underwears, and they actually did it. Like, you know, to me, I felt like that was stupid. Why did you do that? They didn't ask me to take my clothes off. They put this thing. I mean, if they would have done, I wouldn't have done it. But you know, I feel like some people are assertive, and they're like, if you're going to ask me to take my clothes off, why? Or if you want me to wear, I wear a bikini. You know, I go to the gym 3 times a week. I wear bikinis in front of a lot of people, and I feel very comfortable wearing bikinis. Okay, I don't really want to wear bikinis because I know that if I wear a bikini, guys are going to touch my ass and stuff, and it's not vagina, ass difference. But yeah, it doesn't really bother me. You know, at the end of the day, it doesn't really bother me. I'm touching their ass. I'm doing massage. This is part of it, and you know, I've experienced stuff, and um, it is sexual abuse. Yeah, it is sexual abuse. They're getting sexually aroused by it. They're finishing. I'm watching. I don't really want to do this, but at the end of the day, life is shit, and this is the situation that I'm in. You know, that's how I see it. And a lot of the claims seem to just say sexual abuse, but it doesn't really say how. It doesn't go into any detail about it, and so it's making me question what kind of sexual abuse is it? I mean, is this just typical massage sexual abuse, which is something that I go through on a daily basis and think nothing of? Because at the end of the day, it's just something it's just a session that I can blank out the second I leave. So it's not like it bothers me. Um, it bothers me doing this whilst knowing that I'm the god of the world, that I've got thousands of people doing things about me behind my back whilst ignoring me. That bothers me. It bothers me how the people that are doing the films and music are making millions of pounds off me, and I'm struggling, and I'm living in a house without heating or without hot water because I don't feel like I have enough money, and I don't really want to go back into massage. I think I'd rather just stay in bed. I don't see the point in getting out of bed. I'm comfy in bed, so why get out? You know, this annoys me. My lifestyle annoys me. The fact that I've been doing this for 10 years annoys me, and yeah, I don't know, but I feel like a lot of people can't tell the difference between real abuse and just massage sexual abuse. Like, yeah, it's massage. There's going to be a lot of people wanting to take your clothes off. There's going to be a lot of people wanting you to sit on top of them, or they're going to try and make sexual stuff just seem normal. Oh, why don't you do that? Oh, why don't you do extras? Why don't you do hand relief? And then, oh, just touch it for me. Just touch it. Just stroke it once. Just once. You know, you get all those people, and it's just it's annoying, but it's not the worst thing. And yeah, I know some did do sex, um, but as a masseuse, I also know that you get tempted a lot. You know, I wasn't really around rich people, so the most that people would tempt me with is £50. Oh, I'll give you £50 for sex. You know, that's easy to turn down. I think in Gefory Epstein's case, you know, these girls were around really rich people that were offering them thousands of pounds. But yeah, having sex with someone rich for thousands of pounds is very different to cases where you get like 15-year-olds kind of finding a boyfriend who can, you know, help them make money, and then say, okay, well, I'll you know, manage the money because you're not very good at looking after money, and basically then they end up taking all their money away whilst they've just had sex with like 150 people. You know, then that is very, very, very bad and very disgusting. And then there's other cases where, you know, if it's 15-year-olds should not be having sex, but if a 15-year-old does it for £15,000, it's a different level of bad. You know, it's both bad, but it shouldn't be considered to be the same thing. And then people are considering it to be the same thing. And I've also come across this other lady just now. I don't know what it is. Galashla Maxwell's. I don't know what this is. I can't say. Ghis Ghislaine. Is that Ghislaine? Ghislaine Maxwell's. I don't know about this one. I feel she looks like Cruella de Vil, and her story compared to all the others just seems so much like, yep, raped me sometimes 3 times a day. Just, yeah, I was raped 3 times a day, and it just seems so careless. How she's saying it just doesn't seem believable. It seems, and yeah, I was 10 and I was seeing all this happen, and I don't know. It's just, I don't believe it. I don't believe it. And I did see another video where she was the one who said that she had tapes of some of the things. And you know, I know whatever was going on with the Jessica thing, what was wrong and was it bad. It wasn't just inappropriate. It was, you know, it was probably something he deserved to go to prison for. But just after the R. Kelly case, it's just making me question. It makes cases seem like people don't know what they're doing. Like the people who are deciding these decisions of who's guilty and who's not, just isn't don't know what they're doing. And so I was going to go through my sort of evaluation of victims to try and work out who I think is a victim and who I think is not a victim. And I can't help but think a lot of these people that were working with this were just, people who, oh, £200 or $200 to do a massage. Yeah, that's easy work. And I think they liked having this kind of money, but yeah, at the same time, they were actually being groomed into doing more. Yes. Um, but because they were getting £300 a session or $300 a session or $200 a session if they were a bit older, I feel like because of this, they would have made a lot of money over the time, and then therefore there's different. I know it shouldn't be like abuse of rich people shouldn't happen, um, but the thing is, there's always going to be abuse of rich people abusing poorer people. I mean, this is always going to happen. This is why food is so cheap. Richer people are abusing, crop growers and people who work for £3 or £4 an hour. There will always be abuse of power. Um, but I think that the difference between a bad abuse of power and a good abuse of power is a bad of abuse of power is where someone's forced to do something and literally not getting anything for it. If someone raped me and I got 50 quid for it, I would be just kind of devastated. But if someone raped me and then sort of gave me like £100,000 afterwards, I'll be like, oh yeah, actually, I'm okay. In fact, you can do it again if you want. I kind of it's different. Like £100,000 for a rich person is nothing, but to me, that's life changing money. And likewise, um, you know, sleeping with someone for £15,000 is life changing money. That's that's different to the girl who thinks she had sex with 150 people and didn't get a penny from it because her boyfriend took the money. And it does make you wonder in these cases, like, does she get anything back? Like that's how I would see justice if someone is trafficking someone or forcing them into having sex, and specifically if they're underage as well. um if they're overage, it might not necessarily be forced, but rather that they feel like they have no other option, and they do. I guess they could just stick to massage, but a lot of girls aren't very good at just saying no and sticking to that. It's a complicated issue because force, there's different versions of force. Is force um, literally you're doing that and I'm not going to let you leave this house? Or is it, well, what else are you going to do? Do you want to work behind a bar? Do you want to work behind a counter? And they say no, and then, oh, okay, I'll do this. And, you there's different, lots of different levels of force and stuff. And I'm kind of just going through some of the cases just to see an opinion, but I also have to bear in mind that this is YouTube and people do anything for hits, even if it's just make up some completely bogus story, take a bunch of pictures. Oh, yeah, this is this girl. It'd be easy to start off like sort of Chinese whisper stories and then look at other YouTube videos and then just make the story and repeat the story. And then the story sounds believable and true because so many people are talking about the same story. But in reality, it might all just be nonsense. And yeah, I think I need to stay away from these cases. It's because they are clickbait. A lot of these stories, I reckon, a lot of the stories about like gang rape or sex trafficking or solicitation, I think a lot of it could be clickbait and people just trying to sell stuff. The guy that likes to insult P Diddy, he's made loads of stories about how disgusting that the Prince Andrew is, and I'm just like, is it? I don't think he's actually that guilty. I think he might have had sex with one or two sort of underage girls. Did he know? Did he not know? I don't know. But the girl that is alleging he slept with, she seems quite old and mature for her age. So I wouldn't say that's a crime. But at the same time, he is taking that and then just a bunch of other rumors and just presenting it as, of course, Of course, it's all the truth. You know, why would these women lie? Why would these women lie? And it's just like, well, maybe for the same reason why you're making these stories in the first place. You're getting clicks for it. Anyway,